All right, how you guys doing today? We're back with another episode. I got one of my friends, coworker, Tevon Seals with me. We're gonna talk about reinvesting in the community today. I mean, that's a huge part about small communities is having people that grew up in the community and coming back and injecting their energy back into it. So how you doing today?
Cool, bro. Tired.
Tired.
Just getting up, but I'm tired. I'm cool. I'm ready. I'm excited to be here.
Excited to be here.
Yeah.
So give people a little background about you, about where you came from, and what you do now in your line of work.
I mean, I'm from Lancaster, so I've been here my whole life, for real. I moved out. I lived in the city till probably like high school. Moved out to CV, whatever. But I always stayed like in the city for the most part. And that's pretty much it. Play football, play sports, all of that stuff in the city. But other than that, I mean, now I'm just working at Phoenix Academy, and I work at Benchmark program, helping the kids.
Yeah. So what's it like? So like, I grew up in the city too. Obviously, I work at Benchmark. So the biggest thing is like, grow up in the city. We talk to a lot of kids. We tell them like nothing really changed. Obviously, you see, the same tendencies and stuff like that. So how, like, as one of their mentors and stuff, people that the kids look up to, how do you help them like veer onto like a more positive path than what you seen probably some of the niggas we grew up with, like you seen how they ended up. So how you help them stay on a good path?
I think the main way that I help kids and the youth like today go like the right way, stay in the right path, stay in the right direction is I encourage setting long-term goals. So a lot of the kids nowadays and kids in general, even since I was young, we think short-term. So a lot of our stuff is like what's in the now. But the biggest thing that I do is encourage long-term goals and help them set long-term goals and reach and set short-term goals in those goals to reach those long-term goals that they set. So if, say, a kid wanted to go to, wanted to the league, play football, that's their long-term goal. But on the way to getting that goal, we got to set short-term goals to get there. So, all right, we got to work out. We got to talk to different coaches. We got to do all these different things in order to reach that goal. So that's just an example of like some of the stuff that we do like that, set long-term goals, being consistent. We always want to be consistent because a lot of these kids, especially like in the inner city, a lot of kids lack consistency, whether that's in the household or just in general. So by you being somebody that's there for them whenever they need it, that's going to go a long way. Because if you got somebody that's always going to hold you accountable, that's what they need, and that's going to be able to like push them to make those next steps and make those achievements that they want to do.
I definitely agree with that. So like that's one of the biggest things. Like I try to tell people when you work with kids, like you just want to be consistent with them, because like a lot of these kids, they don't have like a consistent father figure, mother figure, household stability. So it's like when you step into their life, if you just showing them the same things, they kind of just brush you off.
Not for sure.
But if you consistent, you help them reach their goals, and they a little more accepted to advice you give them. So I definitely agree with you said. Like you said, short-term goals, because a lot of these kids, they got these big goals, but they don't even know like the foundation and fundamentals like of it. Like kids want, like I had a kid the other day say he want to play in the NFL. Like I'm like, all right, bro, how many times a week you work out? He like, one time. Right. I'm like, I don't think that's cutting it, brother. I don't know if that's gonna get you nowhere past high school. So a lot of these kids don't understand. Like they have these goals, and they have a lot of people that don't generally like feed into the talent that they have. So like that's another thing that I'm big on is seeing people's potential. So like I see a lot of potential in people. You have kids that they're okay with just graduating high school and getting like a regular 9 to 5. But working is cool, but they don't see like, oh, maybe I could go into this, maybe I can go to college, maybe I can, maybe I could look at this, HVAC career or whatever, something like that. Like they just want to go work at like McDonald's and bust traps. Like they ain't really trying to think about the long term thing. So that's another thing that people don't see from the inner city. So what would you say is like, like you say you grew up here, so like talk about some of the similarities from when you grew up to where you're at now. Like what do you think you see now from the inner city? The same things that are going on.
As far as like
as far as in the community, with the youth.
Well, I think some of the similarities is like obviously benchmark program, like having somewhere that kids could go. I think that was one of the biggest things that I had. Like I went to the Boys and Girls Club and started growing up, but having somewhere for kids to go. But I think that's also one of the things that we don't really have, because a lot of kids either like the little things in the community. There's not really like somewhere for kids to go aside from like benchmark program or some of the like Boys and Girls Clubs, but a lot of those is just kind of like a daycare almost. So I think the biggest thing that like I can see is that, but I think a lot of it because I think the kids are the same. So like growing up, we did the same exact stuff that they did. It's just I feel like nowadays they got a lot more freedom. Like kids don't really have like, and I think that's due to like the social media thing. Like they have a lot of like they just see a lot of they'll see somebody on social media doing something like, all right, that's cool, I could do that, but don't really understand like how they did whatever it was. But I think the biggest thing is that like the kids are the same. It's just I think the things that change is again like the social media and the way that like people just see stuff. So I think overall like yeah.
Yeah, that's a big point, and I'm gonna look at y'all little niggas in your eyes. Y'all are the exact same, and we try to tell y'all that every single day is that the same stuff you're doing we did. So it's better to feed into the positive habits that I know that you have. That you know it may not be the most popular thing, and that's a big thing about like working with children and reinvesting in your community too. Is you try to break the narrative of like a lot of kids they don't want to go to school, they don't want to do they don't want to do the right thing because they think like all right that's not the popular thing to do like. Oh, me getting good grades, like that's cool, whatever. But like my man's over here skipping school, smoking mad weed. Like, yeah. I mean, that's cool, chilling with my guys and shit. So like,
I think that falls back. Honestly, I think that falls back on the parents though.
Yeah.
A lot of the kids now, no matter whether they got one parent in the house, two parents in the house, whatever it was, I feel like us growing up, a lot of it was we had people that was there to support us, and I think that's really why I choose to take the route that I'm going now because. Again, a lot of stuff that I had. The reason why I'm at where I am now is just because a lot of the people that I had supported me growing up. So my mom, my dad, family, people outside my house, like in the community. Like I said, I went to the Boys and Girls Club and all that, play sports. So like people that wasn't necessarily in my house, but was always there to like keep me in check and keep me accountable. So I think again that's the reason why I do what I do now is just because a lot of these kids lack like accountability, and again that goes back to like the household thing. So. I think if I could give at least a couple of kids that, then like I'm doing my job and doing the best that I could do, then that's pretty much why I do what I do.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, some of these, like a lot of these kids, you know, we talked about it last episode with Nate. A lot of these kids, some of them have, I would say like younger parents. Like I had a young mom, but my mom also was backed by like my grandma and stuff like that. They don't have that extensive like family structure to sit there and like, you know, right the wrongs. And like you said,
sure.
social media is a way bigger influence. I joke with kids all the time. Like, I had my first Snapchat when I was in high school. I was on a gram in like 8th grade. Like, you feel me? These kids are like 6th grade, 7th grade, Instagram, Snapchat, you know, Twitch, doing all this. Like, you feel me? They're seeing all this other stuff that I didn't have exposure to. Like, we was really outside, just, you mean, chilling, playing football, going to Price, playing basketball. Like, it wasn't like we wasn't in the crib on our phone, so they see a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of like negative influences on the internet that you know kids fall into because they think it's cool. That's what's popular. You know, a lot of I hate to say it, but like a lot of music too. Like from they see these rappers talking about popping perks and stuff like that. Like they think that's cool. So that's all that feeds into it. So, but a lot of it, like you said, falls back in a family structure, and I feel like you know, like you said, working with kids. Being around, you know, troubled teens or whatever you want to call them, like, a lot of it comes down to being an extended member of their family. Like, I like to think some of these kids, like, I'm like, yo, that's my kid. Like, that's my little brother, my little cousin, like, whatever. I want to make sure that whenever they call me, I'm available. I could pick up the phone. We could talk. You mean, you want to go get some food? Come on, we out. Like, let's go. Whatever it is to keep them on a positive path, you know, that's a sacrifice you make when you work with kids. That's really something that you have to do. But, like, I feel like you hinted at it earlier, you know, like, talk about, like, you talked about your family structure, and you talked about, like, you know, like, the community structure that you had growing up, stuff like that helps you become where you are. You should, like, speak on that a little more?
I think, yeah, for sure. I think, like, my mom was, like, my biggest supporter, and as far as, like, whatever it was. So, like, always, like, me understanding, like, all right, I got my mom's support, but then I'm also, like, I think me, like, going outside or whatever it was, like, not even, like, I was outside drunk, but I think just doing the stuff that I was doing wasn't really the right way to go. So I think I just had a couple conversations with my mom, and she kind of let me know, like, this ain't the way to go, and just understand. I got a little older, understanding like where she came from, because for the most part, like yeah, my dad was there, but for the most part, it was a single parent home. So understanding like where she coming from, taking care of me and my sister, and like the sacrifice that she made, having both of us by the time she was 18, like it wasn't an easy thing. So understanding like why would I put my mom through whatever it was, like whether that's me getting in trouble with like the police or just not going the right path. It was honestly turning out to be a bum, which is like kind of something that I couldn't see myself doing, especially like I said, being that my mom was 18, working multiple jobs, doing all this stuff, cutting it like just to keep the lights on, whatever it was. So I think that, but also again, like I talked about, like Boys and Girls Club or playing sports, like you got coaches that like was with me, like you said, like if I want to go to my friend's house, like his dad was our coach, so like we all hanging out together. We all got somebody that's holding us accountable. We not out here just doing dumb stuff together. If we together, maybe we playing the game or we watching sports on the TV. We all go out to eat together, and those are people that again, like when you mess up, those are people that's going to tell you like, yo, you messed up. But when you're doing good, those are the same people that's right in the back of your corner that's cheering you on. So yeah. I think I got a lot of my influence from them. And I like every time I'm making decisions, whatever it was, those are things that was always in the back of my mind. Like how will my mom feel about this, or how would people that I look up to, how would they feel about some of these decisions that I'm making? So again, those are the things that made me stay like on the right path for the most part and do the things that I was supposed to do and kind of get where I am today.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. Is like just having that extra support system, like you said. Like, you know, we had coaches like there was a coach I remember. I don't know if you know him, Coach Ty. He coached at Hand. So the thing was like, yeah, you're at the Boys and Girls Club, you coach football, and then on top of that, like I'm going to sports all sorts in the summer. Like you also one of the counselors there, so like it's like year round I'm with you. Like you feel me, like. Yeah. Mr. Carroll, like, you know, people like that. Like, he was my principal from second grade to, like, my senior year of high school. So, you know, he watched me grow up. So, it's like, you know, like, that's the benefit of being in a small-knit community that people don't see is, like, you know, like, there's these male figures. Like, I ain't had my dad, so, like, these are people I'm looking up to. I'm growing up and looking up to as men. So, it's like, they're giving me a positive light and everything. And also, there's strong individuals within the community. Everybody knows them. These are names that are, you know, well renowned in the community and stuff like that. So, like you said, it all comes down to, you know, like a support system. It's like when you want to reinvest into something, when you want to give your energy into something, you have to think about like, can I sacrifice this? Can I sacrifice my time, my energy to this thing?
Right.
And what is gonna come out of it? So like, when I look at like working with a kid, if I work with a kid one-on-one, I think about, what can I sacrifice to get this kid the best opportunity at being a kid? Sure. So, like, that's definitely, like, that's something that like, I'm pretty sure crosses your mind every single day when you're in the school, because you work at Phoenix Academy, which is an alternative education school. So, it's not like you're not at a main school. You're at where they send, like, quote-unquote troubled kids. You know, like, you want to talk about that, like, working with them, because that's a whole different narrative of kids. You know, some of them might have IEPs. Some might have serious mental health, you know, problems that they need counseling and stuff for. Some of them might be dealing with, you know, traumatic past experiences, drug problems. There's like a whole array of kids that you work with in that one building.
Yeah, I think like what you said, it's all about like making sacrifices for whatever it is. So again, like you said, like there's obviously you're obviously not gonna be able to reach every student, like everybody that's in the schools. But what I try to do is, like you said, make sacrifices for the kids that are willing to take those chances and are willing to stay in class, whatever it is, stay in class, do their work, come to school on time, all of those things. Those are the times I'm just like, all right, these are the kids that I know we're on the right path, and these are the times that I can make sacrifice for this kid. Whether it's like, oh, they text me like right when I get out of work or whatever, yo, I'm hungry, I need to get some food, something like that. But just little stuff like that goes a long way. But I'm not saying that kids that ain't doing the right thing, I'm not going to try to help them. But the ones that like are taking those next steps, those are the ones that you're willing to like go that extra mile for sometimes. But again, like working at Phoenix, it's a little different because you figure, you said a lot of these kids don't want to really be there. A lot of kids in general don't want to be at school, period. But over there, you see a lot of kids is always out of class, whatever it is. So that really just comes with a lot of like I talked about before, holding kids accountable and understanding like, these kids don't want to be there, but let's set some goals for them to stay in class or whatever it is, and like once they reach these goals, holding them accountable for not doing that, and if they are, all about like rewarding these students goes a long way too. Like, so I think that's the biggest thing. I think working with not even just at Phoenix, but with kids in general is that giving them that not just be there when they're messing up, like I talked about before, like not being there when they mess up, but also when they do the right thing, you're there. They're the first one that's there to cheer them on and be proud of them for that. Let them know that you are proud of them. Because a lot of these kids don't hear like, "Oh, I'm proud of you." You let a kid know that at school or even like I said at benchmark, they be like, "What? Proud of him?" Like, you know what I mean? They don't really hear stuff like that. So I think letting kids know like, "I'm proud of you," like you're doing the right thing, that goes a long way, and that makes them, like I said, that kind of gives them that. Like I talked about, like that sense, like, all right, somebody that I know cares about me, somebody wants me to do the right thing, so let me like start like going in the right direction, and we just gotta be there to help push them to go that right way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna speak on that because I have like a recent story on that. So, two kids I work with, they're on the freshman track team at McCaskey. So one of them, you know, during the day, he had a school counselor FaceTime me to show me his medals, like, and he's smiling in the camera, stuff like that. Like
Right.
those little moments that like makes my day, because it's like, all right, you took the time out your day. You was like, yo, let me show Terrence this, like, you feel me? Because you know I'm gonna be like, yo, like that, bro, that's good shit. Like, let's go out to eat. Let's go be happy about this. Like, bro, this isn't a little accomplishment. Because
Right.
other people, you know, like they might go home and their parents like, oh, good job, and then you know that's it. Like they wave it off.
Probably not even that sometimes.
Yeah, and that's like these are huge accomplishments. You know, like that's a lot of like determination and work ethic that shows that they, you know, that's placed. And then there's another kid that comes to benchmark. You know, we all know him. You know, he's a good kid, but he's very big on like hugging, and I'm not really like a big hugger. But like on Friday, he came with his gold medal. You know what? I was like, bro, come here, like, you know, bring it in. I'll give you a hug. But like he had like the biggest smile on his face, and you know, stuff like that. Like those are little moments where it's like, all right, this makes my job a little better, because it's like. But you know what I'm talking about,
for sure.
like,
yeah.
and so it's like, it's like that makes my job worth it, because it's like, all right, these kids, like, they have that support system, you know, they look up to us and they come to us with their achievements, and it's like you can't. Sometimes if I'm having a bad day, you know, I try not, because nobody's perfect, you know, we have bad days,
Right.
so I try not to bring my bad days into work, because it's like, all right, I'm having a bad day, but like at the end of the day, I'm going back to my crib. I got a car, I got food, I got bed. Like, you feel me? Some of these kids, they don't even got that. So it's like I can't bring that in there, and I can't really be selfish about my problems, because I have a job to do. I got to make sure these kids is getting the best that they can out of however many hours I see them, whether it be 3 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes. I got to make sure that I'm on my A game, that they can get the best out of me, and they can get, you know, like the best product that comes to mind.
No, for sure. That goes back to those sacrifices that we talked about before. Just like understanding, like you said, like I might not even have slept last night. I might have slept 2-3 hours, but again, like these kids expect me to be here and be positive, whatever it is, be there for them. I can't just come in here and like, oh, I'm tired, bro. I ain't really about to do this today. I'm gonna just, you know what I mean, mope around. That's not really what we do, especially like doing what we do, like working with youth. That's not really, this is not the line of work to do that. So like doing what we do, if you're not really going to be 100% in this, it's definitely not the right field for you.
Yeah, I mean, and it comes from, you know, you have a, and I've seen it. I don't know if this is probably the word that you use for it, but you have like a genuine love for your community. For me,
Right.
like I've seen the way you work with kids and the way you interact with some of the kids. Like I've seen you at Phoenix interacting with kids. I could tell it's a genuine caring, and like a lot of kids, they're not receptive to it. So like, what about the kids that are like, you know, like you see something in them, but they're teetering on the edge, where it's like, all right, bro, I know this is the right thing, but I'm doing the wrong thing right now. And it's just like, bro, I see this potential in you. I know you're a good kid. I know you got this in you. Like, how do you help steer them back onto the right path?
I think the same, like, again, going back to holding these kids accountable, I think that's one of the biggest things with, like, working with kids is having somebody to be there when they need it. So, like, again, like you said, the kid that's teetering, like, all right, I want to get a job, but, like, I'm also, like, a little bit in the streets. I'm trapping, whatever it is, they trapping. It's like, all right, bro, you trapping, and the goal is to obviously get money, but the legal way. So, again, that's, again, holding them accountable, but the way that I do that is, again, helping them reach those goals, like not telling them like these are the steps that you need to take, but being there with them, like step in step with them to reach whatever it is that they're trying to do. So eventually, like I said, they trying to get a job. all right, cool. We're gonna apply at all of these places wherever you think you want to work at. We're gonna apply here. I'm gonna take you to these interviews. I'm gonna talk to you. We're gonna go through an interview process, whatever it is. Like we could do like a mock interview, and like taking those little steps with them, so that like they can reach those goals that they want to do, so that they're not just like, all right. Again, like that goes back to like if they got somebody with them, there's no reason to like, all right, I'm gonna do both. Like I'm gonna be on this side and on this side. So the goal is to get them all the way over here to be on the right path, whatever it is. But that goes along with like being there for them every step of the way. Because a lot of these kids, they need that. So they and understand like when you could back off a little bit. Like, all right, I work with you for shit. It might take 2-3 years. I work with you for 2 years now, bro. And now you're getting like to the right way that you need to be. And now I know like, all right, I could fall back a little bit and let you kind of handle stuff, but always again like being there for them whenever they need you. So you call me and text me like, yo, bro, I need help with this. Yeah, let's do it. But it's not like I'm gonna be up like following you all around. You know what I mean? So it's all about like understanding the kids, understanding who you work with. Excuse me, and then being there for them whenever it is that they need you.
Yeah, that's a big thing. So like, I like to set like, I would say like markers, like you said. So like, for example, if a kid, I like to find like the immediate need. So a lot of kids like, you don't even got state ID. Like you want a job, bro. We need to get that first. So yo, bro, I need you to go to school for this whole week. Like if you want to go get this ID, I'll take care of everything. We'll get it paid for. Don't worry about it. Go to school. Like that's the bare minimum I ask you. Just go to school. You should be present. So then it turns in like, all right, I went to school for 1 week. Now I want to get this job. All right, so go to school for a month. I'll help you. I'll get all these jobs. I'll help you fill out the applications. I'll probably build a resume for you. Just go to school for that month. For me, like, so like you said, like a lot of it is like goal oriented, and that's a lot of things for adults too. Though that's the thing that people don't see is that, you know, you become a troubled kid, you can veer off and become a troubled adult too.
For sure.
If you don't set goals in mind, you don't, talk about, hey, I had this long-term goal. Like, for example, like I got long-term goals, but I know that what may happen in the next 12 months doesn't happen if I don't take care of these next 3 months. You feel me? So stuff like that. So what would you say like for yourself? Because, a lot of being there for kids is being there for yourself too. So what would you say is like your thought process towards setting goals for yourself and for your own personal, growth and improvement?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the biggest thing with me for like talking to the kids is setting goals. So like, it'll kind of be hypocritical for me not to do that for myself. So a lot of things that I do, like honestly, like when I first started this, like I kind of was, like 2 years out of high school and I started really working with kids. So like, I was a kid myself. I mean, so I think a lot of it was I had to learn things on the fly, and working in a program like Benchmark helped me learn these skills that I need. So again, like they taught me like goal setting with the kids, and that kind of like I kind of moved that into my own life. Like I'm like, damn, I'm hitting all of these goals with these kids. Damn, I could do the same thing for myself. So like again, even if that's like putting money away to buy a house or buy a car, whatever it is, or if it's I want to go to the gym this many days a week or whatever, like stuff like that. That goes a long way when you start seeing like the payoff for it. So I think the biggest thing like for me is like you said, like I said, if you setting goals, when you see the payoff, you're like, damn, this stuff really works. So like again, like I said, it would be hypocritical for me to like not do that myself and like work on things in my own personal life, like and then tell the kids like you gotta do this, and this, and I'm just out here just going through life freely. Yeah. Like the biggest, I think like you said, setting goals goes a long way. So if it's like, damn, I want to get this promotion in this job, these are the steps that I got to take to get there. I got to improve all these things, be here on time or early, whatever it is, and work X amount of hours longer than everybody else. Whatever it is, just going the extra mile and taking those steps to do whatever it is that you want to do. Yeah. All of that goes hand in hand with working with kids, because you got to work on yourself. You can't help anybody else get better if you're not getting better yourself. You staying in the same place, you staying stagnant, nobody out there, everybody gonna look at you like, damn, bro, I'm ahead of you and you trying to help me. Yeah, that's not the way we want to do stuff.
It's authenticity too. That's what it comes down to. Is like, I gotta be the best version of myself, because like you said, like I can't help nobody if I ain't helping myself.
Exactly.
Like it's like, all right, bro, I want you to save bread, but then it's like, I don't even have a financial like plan to save money, or like, right. It's like I want you to, do this. Like it's like the little goals that you set for yourself as you're accomplishing them, and the kids see, and that's another thing about like reinventing people and working with people closely, is like the closer you get with someone and the more of a bond you get with someone, they start to see through stuff. Right. So like these kids, they'll see right through it. They'll see like straight through.
And you. I think not even honestly like working with these like the kids that we work with in general. It don't even gotta be like I knew you for a year or whatever, bro. I know you off rip. Like that's not you. And I think we could see like I think just like working with people in general, like you could tell like nah, that's not you, bro. Or you not doing exactly what you saying. Like people can sense that, and it's all about I think working with in the schools, working at Benchmark comes with you said it right there, like being authentic and being you. Because there's no way that you can help anybody else if you don't even know who you are, or if you don't know how to be yourself in the right community or in the right place. Just because like these kids act like that, you don't gotta like you gotta find your way to get the people to gravitate towards you. You can't just try to fit in with them because then it gets a little scrambled and you don't really know. You kind of lose yourself in trying to help somebody else. Yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing, like you said, is being authentic.
And a lot of people fall into that thing of like you said, they don't even know themselves. So like a lot of people deal with like like that emotional crisis, that identity crisis. It's like like they want to fit in this narrative of this is what's cool, this is what you mean, this is what fits. Like if I got a kid like listening to rap music, selling drugs, that don't mean I gotta be like, oh, let me go bust this trap real quick to see what this feels like. Like, nah, like they accept you for who you are because they take every single last piece of knowledge that you get them,
right? And
they can grow from it and they learn from it and they take it and they build a personality off of that. And you don't want their personality that they learn from you to be fake and unauthentic.
Exactly, and I think that's the, like you said, the biggest thing. Like, just because if kids is doing something, like I got mentors myself that like they don't do the things that I do, like they don't listen to the music that I do. They don't want to. We're not really in the same crowds that like we don't hang out with the same people. But I think the biggest help for them is they understand like I don't understand like where you come from, but I'm here to help. So like that's the biggest thing. I think like if you choose to like work with kids or whatever, or work with people in general, it's all about understanding, like you said, understanding where you're from and who you are, and then like understanding like I may not understand what you're going through, but I'm here I'm here for you whenever it is that you need me, and I'm willing to learn or willing to like help you go through this, but I'm also not going to be fake and be like, oh you sell drugs, oh I used to do that, knowing damn well you didn't. So like I think that's the biggest thing to understand. Like I'm being authentic and coming in this as real as I can be. That's the only way that you really gonna get through to anybody.
That's a big thing too. Like you said, it's constantly growth. Like that's one thing I want to touch on is you talked about having mentors yourself. Like a lot of people are afraid to take advice. Like you're 24.
Yeah.
You got a mentor. You got someone ordering you that's
a couple.
That's been there. They done that. They're successful, and you're willing to take advice. Like I feel like once people hit 18, 20, 21, they're like, man, I know everything. I mean, like I don't need, but you can learn from everybody. You can learn. I learned things from kids. I learned, like there's stuff that a kid may tell me, or there's a different perspective that they might look at something where it's like, you know what, you are kind of right. Like you may not be 100% right, but there's something that I could grab from that I could be like, that's applicable to my life, like stuff like that. So, what is it like for you having mentors? Like, did you always have a mentor, or was it like, like there was like a shift in your head where you like, damn, maybe I don't know everything. Maybe I do need to sit down with someone and learn the ropes.
Well, I think like growing up playing sports, like you always kind of got, depending on like who it is, but I think like how I started out playing sports, we kind of always had like a mentor or somebody to look up to, because again we were always together like with our team or whatever it was. So a lot of our stuff was like we doing things together, and we having conversations with like whoever it is, like coaches or even just other parents in general. So like I think. Yeah, like I didn't necessarily like consider them like a mentor, but those are people that I always looked up to and respected. But again, as I got into like this field that I'm doing now, I just got connected with a bunch of different people that had different outlooks on life. I think I kind of was in the same sense of like how some of these kids be like, if you're not really from like this city or whatever it is, or you're not from like where I'm from or do the things that I do, you really want to understand like. You really want to understand my side of stuff or whatever it was. But once I started sitting down with people and really having like real conversations about just like life stuff, or even like people that are where I want to be at, like people that are investing in real estate or have multiple companies or just big parts of different companies. Those are things that I want to do. So understand, like, damn, how did you get there? We might not have started from the same place, but we both want the same end goal. So, like, how did you do the things that you do? So those are the things that, like, kind of help me understand, like, all right, these are people that I need in my corner. And I'll sit down with them, like, at least, like, once a month and just have a conversation sometimes about just what we doing, like, what's going on, hanging out, whatever it is. But also it comes down to, like, those are people that are holding me accountable and talking to me about, like, well, what goals do you guys set? What goals do you want to do? What things do you want to achieve? So those are things, again, like I said, like, those are things that made me kind of really feel like I got mentors and people that I could look up to and talk to whenever it is that I need it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing, like, and it's another thing, like, don't judge a book by its cover, because there's been people that, like, I've been in a room with, and it's like, not to put a stereotype out there, but it's like this white motherfucker in a suit, and I'm like, ain't no way, like, he understands nothing, and then he just, y'all start talking, y'all start having these deep conversations about life, and it's like, oh, all right, bro, like, you went through the same thing, like, you ain't had your pops, you was out here drawing when you was young, like, I ain't know that. And he's like, yeah, like, so, like, they give you advice, and like you said, they have the same angle. At the end of the day, regardless if they grew up how you grew up, if they understand what you're saying, or even if they're, you know, like, the same, if they're a completely different person than you, they have the same angle. They all want to be, you know, we all want to be in the same spot, and success is the angle. That's however you look at success, that's everybody's angle. Is you want to be as successful as you can be in life. So that's a big thing. I mean, like, never stop getting advice. Never stop taking advice. Yeah. Until I die, I probably never stop taking advice.
Yeah, and I think like you said, like, even working with kids, like, sometimes a kid might tell me, like, I ain't really like how you did this, or, like, damn, like, I felt, maybe, like, even a kid might let me know, like, I felt left out, like, all day, like, I ain't talked to you all day. And that, like, kind of, again, that gives you, like, the thought of, like, all right, let me work on these are things that I need to work on, because I might not see it. Like, I take it, like you said, I take advice from people that I work with. I take advice from, like, different students. I take advice from pretty much whoever it is. If I, like, understand, like, who it is, I'm not just listening to anybody. But, like, if you if you come, like, with if you really want to talk or whatever it is, I feel like I could take a lot from, like, different conversations. I could take different information from different people. You don't have to be just like me or come from where I come from, or even you don't got to be, like, at the highest point wherever it is. If you're there and you say some dumb shit, I'm not gonna listen to you. so like, I think, like I said, it's just if it comes from a genuine place and you're really there to help me or whatever it is, I can always take something from some conversation. I think that's the way to look at it. Is like, all right, what can I take from this conversation, or how can I improve myself from this?
It's definitely a big thing, though. Like you said, it's just, and take heed to everybody's advice. You can't take everybody's advice. Yeah. I'm not going around listening to everybody, but there's definitely, you know, like, some wise people that I've had conversations with, you know, that I have in my corner, where it's like, if I ever need, you know, to talk about something, you know, they can sit down with me, talk, and we figure a solution out, or they give me some genuine advice that helps me find a solution on my own. So that's a lot of stuff that goes on. Well, I mean, it's been great having you on here. Like, I really appreciate you coming, you know, dedicating your morning to come out here. Like, what would, if you had to leave, you know, 3 last things for the people watching, for the kids that may need help, you know, for people that need advice, what would you say is 3 key points that you would say you have?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I only got one, and that's be authentic. Honest, like, be you. Find what you like to do. Do the things that you want, like, the right way. Obviously, find the people that you could, like, gravitate towards. All of that stuff. But, like, I think, well, those are multiple different things, but I think it all comes back to being authentic. Finding yourself, and I think that goes a long way, because I think when I was young, a lot of it was, like, trying to figure out who I am. But now that I kind of know, like, what path I want to go and where I want to be, that's kind of where everything leads back to, is, like, I'm myself, and I'm not going to listen to this person just because, like, that's my friend. I'm going to let them know, like, nah, bro, I'm not doing that dumb stuff because I got somewhere I need to be. So I think that's really what everything boils down to, is just being authentic, finding who you want to be, finding the path that you want to take, and talk to the people that are already there, and that can help you get to those positions.
That's a fact. I mean, listen, one, I'd rather have one good one than 3 shitty ones.
Yeah, so for sure.
I think that's good. Well, like I said, I appreciate you.
No doubt.
Next week, we're going to have another guest on here. You know, we're going to be talking about relationships. That's a big thing going on. You know, you want to talk about the relationships you have. So make sure y'all stay tuned in. If y'all aren't already, subscribe to the YouTube, please. And if you aren't, you know, go find us on TikTok and Instagram, _podcast. on both apps. So go stay tuned. Pretty soon we'll be doing a giveaway at 100 subscribers. We'll do a cash giveaway. So make sure you tap in for that too. So, all right, man. Have a blessed day.